Welcome to the Morning Chatter. I am Debbie D. Wahba, and with me I have today Mary Kim Farkas and Lea Rosenberry, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Over to you, Mary Kim.
Okay, I am Mary Kim Farkas, and I love empowering women, and I'm super excited because the Morning Chatter is where the chatter happens on the Chatter social app, and we are making waves and impact, and so stay tuned in. Go ahead, Leah.
I love it. I love it. So my name is Lea Rosenberry. I actually work for Chatter. I am head of community. And these two lovely women have one of my favorite shows for sure. Just like Mary Kim said, empowering women, just positivity and learning and all the things I love. So all the ways to have a great start to the day.
Yes.
Yeah, and I have to say, like, one of the reasons why we wanted you to be the first guest was I don't think that the Morning Chatter would have really come to fruition if it wasn't for you and being so bold and telling me I could do this, and so I just want to publicly thank you for that, because I think it gave me the push that I needed to really step into this role and start the show. So, and of course, I want to thank Mary Kim, because Mary Kim and I have been doing a lot of things together for a long time, and it's just
Yeah.
I asked, and she's like, absolutely. It wasn't even a doubt.
I love that. Listen, the confidence, the growth in confidence that I've seen in you for sure over the past, I don't even know how long, 6 months or so, probably even more than that, um, is amazing. And so there was no doubt that you could do it just because of all the growth that had happened leading up to that. And then you just took it and ran with it, and you have the perfect partner in crime to go along with that. So there's no way. There's no way it could be anything but fabulous.
Well, thank you, and Mary Kim.
I was going to say, I think what brings the Morning Chatter to where it is today is because you were very mindful, Debbie, and we shared this at the opening thing that we just did the other day, is that you were very mindful of the other communities on Chatter Social and what times theirs started and ended, and also very mindful of the vast places where people were. They're all over the world, right? So you're very mindful of time and time slots. And it wasn't about how much money that, rocket chats that you can get in the room. It was really like, what is the impact and how can we collectively get together with multiple people, all backgrounds, races, viewpoints, and create a space where people can, learn and grow in whatever that is through the experience and the expertise of the speakers.
I could not agree more with that. I could not agree more. And one of the amazing things is the two of you ability to highlight people who have maybe a show that they do once every, week or something like that, giving them another place to get exposed to more people, is a benefit for them and for just regular watchers, for regular listeners or whatever. So I love that.
And that leads us into the fact of why we are here, because part of having guests on the podcast is to highlight them and to just, find out certain things that maybe they don't typically share, or just, have that conversation to highlight you as a member of the Morning Chatter community. So I guess my first question would be for you. Well, you kind of already answered it, but what does the Morning Chatter to you have that maybe may have been missing?
Yeah, so we don't have a ton of content that is non-political, right? There's a lot of political content. There's a lot of like entertainment kind of stuff. And so I personally call it learning content or educational content. That goes into like motivational stuff too. We don't have a ton of that. Uh, enough, I guess, but we would love to have more. And so a show that focus on that is just my total wheelhouse, right? That's the background noise of my life, is just, podcasts or listening or learning, even if it's a topic that I'm not necessarily, completely in tune with, right? I can listen to a real estate show all day long, or I can listen to, just anything where I can learn. I love that. If it moves into the mindset space, the positivity space, the how to have a better life space, even better. But I can listen to anything as far as learning goes. So I love that. That's the kind of thread through everything, I think, in the morning chatter. Um, so yeah, so that's why I'm there for sure.
I love that. Lea, I have a question.
Yeah.
So, what is something as the community, is a community leader? Community, I don't know the title.
Head of community.
Chatter community, right? That you are overseeing, right? So, what is the thing that when you became part of the, Chatter Social, that you didn't realize you would gain from being in the role that you are in today?
I'm a helper by nature, so I love to help people. I talk about this a lot. I know that some people feel like, oh, if I'm a people pleaser, then I get drained or whatever. I get charged up by being able to help people. And so being head of community gives me a place and a role where I can help people. And so I love being able to, if somebody doesn't understand something, I can show them that. I can direct them to a resource. I can, connect them with another person. Often I will see people in the community and be like, oh, they should be a speaker. And so I'll let Debbie and and then maybe you can pull somebody new in. So being kind of a helper and a connector is my favorite part of what happens. And the other thing too is I'm the voice of the user, right? So when Nalzo's on his tech thing and Nelson's on his, app growth, all that thing, I'm the voice of the user. And sometimes, I get a little pushback. It's like, that the tech is more important. Not that they say that, but sometimes because they're tech focused, they think the tech is more important. But one example, we pushed an update, right? For you could use a GIF in your profile picture, right? People loved that. That was the tiniest thing. And that was something that made everybody so happy. So just that voice of the user and being able to help people, that it makes it my dream job for sure. It does.
I love that, Lea. And I believe so in any group, for me, it's the leader, right, of any group that sets the standard, right? So, like Debbie, how she shows up sets the standard. And you being the community leader of Chatter Social, you set the standard. There's a level that people want to what do you get to? I can't think of the word, right? Get to that level. So congratulations to you, because you do set that standard of how do we interact? Because if the community is not there, it doesn't matter what kind of tech or numbers come through if you don't have the community there. So, and that all is by the leader. So you are the first person that, not the first person, but the person that everyone sees constantly on the app to support the community. So
I love that. That makes me feel great. It does.
And you do such a great job at it, and you're great at connecting people. You're great at communicating with people, and just to see your growth from the beginning. And I mean, we always knew from when we were doing the one-on-one classes, it was a no-brainer to put you in that position as far as being the head of community, because it's just a natural fit for you. That's really where you shine. So I love that's what, you do.
Thank
So
you.
the next thing I want to ask is, what does Lea do for fun? Like, what do you like doing outside of
Not
Chatter?
much lately, I got to tell you. Oh my goodness. It's so funny that you mentioned that, because I am absolutely committed. Absolutely committed. And I know I've said it before, but with time and just everything like that, I'm going to do, and today was sort of a test run without telling anybody. I love Christmas, right? I love the holidays. I love spending time with my people, everything like that. I'm just going to start opening rooms where I'm going to do my Christmas stuff. And if people want to join in with that, right, whether that's watching a Christmas movie or starting to get the decorations out or maybe making something or whatever it is, I'm just going to open a room and hopefully people will come along and do that as well. The, how can I make myself do this? Well, one is if I do this, I will be happy. This will make me happy. So even if I'm sitting there by myself, totally fine, which I don't think I will be sitting there by myself because other people probably feel the same way. But yeah, I'm definitely going to do that as far as we lead up to the holidays. So what do I love to do for myself? Things like that. Make little crafties once in a while and, watch a Christmas movie and, just things like that. Spending time with family, of course, but that's a given. But I like, shopping a little bit or, just doing all the things. It's funny how life changes over time, right?
Yes.
I used to spend so much money, not just on Christmas, but just like on things and stuff and, stuff around the house. And, oh, I need a new pillow for the couch and, just stuff. Do I really need a new pillow for the couch? I absolutely do not. All right. And so then over time, so I stopped spending money and I started doing more kind of like I still go to I almost said the mall. I don't think anybody really goes to too many. At least we can't in my town. My mall is awful. But I started I still do the things. I just don't there's just a different focus now. So yeah, that's one thing I do. I spend time with friends and I do little crafts and especially at Christmas time. So that's it.
I love that too. Lea, you know what I like to do? It's weird. So during the holidays, I love cooking, but don't come in the kitchen. Do not come in the kitchen. I don't want your help because it's therapy for me. I feel like it's therapy. It calms me down. I'm focused. It's no craziness. And yeah, do not come in the kitchen though. You can eat, you can hang around. Don't ask me. I don't need any help. No help. I don't care how many dishes I'm making. Don't help me. Like it's really, I feel calm. And I also like washing dishes. Like I feel calm during washing.
Oh no, not that. Not for me. The cooking, yes. If I had somebody to clean up after me, oh, that would be fantastic. But yeah. But same thing. I like to just make little, like just even looking, on social media and seeing little things. One of the things I'm going to make this year, I saw somebody took old books. And so like think about the book like this is the spine of the book and open up the book like this. They sat books on top of each other and it sort of made a tree. Oh. So you literally just take like some sort of base and you like stack the old books on there and you slap a bow on top and it just looked so pretty. That's so easy. I have books on my shelf. I'm looking at books on my shelf that I could do that with right now. So it's just the little things, little little things and finding the recipes, right? I'm always up trying to find the recipe because I either saved it in some folder or I printed it and I put it somewhere for something that I make every single year, trying to find the recipe. I spend an hour doing that. So this year, what I'm going to do, I'm going to find all the recipes ahead of time so that then it can be stressful. No, stress-free at Christmas time. Just buy the food and cook the food. Yeah, not stressful.
Yeah, but, you don't want it to be stressful.
Yeah. Just small changes to try and make things better.
So, it's little things always. It's the little things.
You got it.
Yeah. So speaking of books, do you read a lot or do you once in a while? And if so, what book would you say has been the most impactful book you've ever read?
Okay, so here's a funny thing. So in high school, I read Gone with the Wind. I was really a smart kid. I never had to read. Like I never had to read. So I got all through high school without reading a book, like completely. Like I could read part of the book or, just whatever. And I would know enough based on the conversation we had in class and stuff like that. Gone with the Wind, this is so crazy, was the first book, 1,024 pages that I read from front to back. And anyway, so I love that book. But yes, I mostly do nonfiction. I'm not really a fiction-y type girl. And so that goes back to that learning piece, I guess. And so I'm just reading, kind of positivity books and, kind of business books and connection books and, things like that. Let me see. I'm trying to think of the best one. I don't even know. I can't even pick a favorite. I did 75 Hard a couple years ago. And with, you have to read 10 pages a day, which who stops at 10? And so that got me my reading habit. It was actually Clubhouse that gave me the reading habit because there would be a lot of authors on there. So I would end up buying the book, especially, I would buy the book, I'd read the book and then go from there. So yeah, I like all of them. Um, I don't even think I have a favorite. I'm trying to look and even see if I can see a favorite. One thing I love is Jesse Itzler's books. He did Living with a Monk, and then he did the one, I forget the title of it, where an Army SEAL, he had David Goggins come and live with him for 30 days, and they trained, he trained him like an Army SEAL and stuff like that. I love those. Like I said, just positivity. You can do anything you want to do, like that. So anything like that for sure.
Yeah, that was good, and yeah, I like to read, and I'm the same way. I don't really read a lot of nonfiction, and although my daughter did share a book with me, and don't ask me the title because I cannot remember it, but I couldn't put it down. Like I read that book in a matter of like a day or maybe two, but it was so good. It was little.
Remember when Oprah was doing the book of the month or however she called it? I was
Yes,
reading all those books. Those books were fantastic. If somebody
Mm-hmm.
can pick the fiction for me and I know it's going to be a great book, then I'll read it. But I never just take a risk. So, yeah.
I don't either.
I don't either. I'm the same like you, Leah and Debbie. Like, I don't like the made up stories. Was that nonfiction or fiction? I don't know. I just can't get into it. I can get it in a little bit in the beginning and then I get bored. Like, I just need to like close the book.
And sometimes the movie makes me want to see the book or want to read the book. So, Coy on Chatter does a room every night. And after everybody's sort of done talking or whatever, he'll put a movie on. And the movie that we watched the other night was called Hillbilly Elegy. It was J.D. Vance's um, uh, memoir or whatever. It was such a great thing. Like the mother was an addict, so you learned all about addiction. You learned about Appalachia because that's where he grew up. You learned about him because he's the vice president. It was just a really cool thing. So,
Wow.
Now, did
yeah.
you say that was a movie?
Yeah, it was a movie. He wrote his memoir 2 years after he graduated from law school, which
Yes.
what is that about? I mean, that's
Mm.
amazing.
Right.
And then they turned it into a movie. Glenn Close played his grandmother. She is unrecognizable in that role. It was so amazing. So anyway, I
I'll have to
recommend it.
look that movie up because I actually did. I didn't read his book. Full disclosure, I listened to it on audio book, on
I am
audio.
an audiobook girl for sure.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
did that because, if I fly anywhere, that's my thing. I listen to audiobooks because, that's my quiet time. I do like to read books too, though. So I kind of mix it up a little bit, but I did listen to that book and it was actually really well written. So
Mm.
I enjoyed the
After
book. So.
Clubhouse and before Chatter, I was audiobooks and podcasts for that entire time
Mhm.
because I need something in my, I listen to something or, I used to watch the news 24/7, which I don't like to do anymore. And so that filled that void for me. But now that Chatter's back, I'm listening or reading less books. So anyway,
Yeah, it's about having the conversations.
yeah, for sure.
Leah, can you share with the audience exactly how best to describe the impact, the what Chatter Social is? Because there's a lot of things. And I also need like, how do I explain it to us? You can't really explain what Chatter Social brings to the table compared to what we already know exists. So I would love for you to share like what does Chatter Social mean and what is different about
Okay.
Chatter Social.
This is my favorite question. Nelson, the CEO of Chatter, would probably say it a little bit differently because again, he's more focused on the tech side and the newness and the capabilities. I'm on the how does this tech impact the people.
Mm.
So Chatter Social is a social media platform that is group centric. Everything is built around a group. So you can start your own group if you want to, and then you can do things in your group. You can go live in your group. You can do posts that are attached to your group. So you can do all these things in your group. If you don't want to have your own group, you don't have to have your own group. You can join other people's groups. So if I love dogs, I'm going to probably join a dog group. If I love Christmas, I'm probably going to join a Christmas group. So then what happens after we join these groups, we see content and meet people who are also interested in the same things that we are. And that accelerates connection. And those connections are what I think is going to change the world. Not just in Chatter. Well, yes, just in Chatter because we're the ones doing it. But there's more isolation. People don't meet their neighbors anymore. My mother lives on the same street she has lived on her entire life, right? Every neighbor knows every other neighbor. Now, lately, probably the past 20 years, some of those neighbors are getting old enough that they're passing on and things like that. So there are some new people in there. But the ones that have been there their whole lives, those connections, that tied togetherness is just it's a lifeline for them. Well, imagine people who don't have anything like that. The example I often use is nursing homes, right? And this is down the line for Chatter. Imagine your grandmother or people in a nursing home who don't have anybody being able to, and I know there's a tech challenge and we got to figure this all out and stuff like that, being able to connect with other people in a live room on Christmas when they're feeling bad about being alone. They would have the same interests, maybe talking about how they grew up or something like that, or maybe even saying that their kids are brats and they should visit them more. Who knows? But I'm just saying, like, that connection, that glue is what other platforms don't have. And what I think I think Chatter is going to change the world because of that. Now, we have to get there, right? We have to get there because of the technology and everything like that. One of the ways that we're doing kind of making that glue, making it stickier is interactivity. And so with interaction and making it interactive, if I am in a room or in doing let's take interactive podcasts, right? The difference with Chatter is we're here, the three of us speaking right now, which is fabulous. What if we were doing this in a room of other people? Right? So all the people are there. You guys ask all the questions. We're kind of done. And then we incorporate the other people. So now instead of watching Joe Rogan for 3 hours, I can raise my hand and actually ask a question. And it just makes a difference. The special sauce of Chatter is that group focus and that stickiness comes with those connections. And I think the world is dying for it. Like kids move away from family. Then they end up working from home. So now you're in a whole new city, working from home, hard to meet people. And so this is just a little lifeline, I think.
I love that, Lea, because while you were sharing, it's true. Like even on Instagram or Facebook, there's groups, but people aren't really going into that. For them, I mean, Facebook may be a little different because there's a lot of like, okay, if you love dogs, if you have a child with special needs or whatever. But in general, it's really like who's speaking and we're getting motivated or we like their class or their content for whatever reason. We're not really following people, let's say on Instagram or even Twitter, maybe that is about this is what the nut and bolts of it is, right? And so, yeah, I love that. I love that.
And I do love that, when we're in these rooms and we have these groups that we can have those conversations, which you cannot have on Instagram or Facebook. Yeah, you could type your comments, but to actually sit there and be able to ask your question in real time and to get an answer in real time and just to be there all in real time is, to me, like, I love it. I mean, I absolutely love it. So,
and listen, to hear the voice, right?
Yeah.
I can say, how are you today? I'm good, right? And you can hear whether it's really I'm good or just me answering the sentence, right? that can't happen in a DM or in a comment, on a post or anything like that. And so the voice and the inflection, and then of course we have video, being able to see people and realize whether they're okay or not is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's a
completely
total
different, I
game.
think.
Yeah. It's a total game changer for the social experience.
Absolutely. Absolutely is, for sure.
And I
And I
also
love
love
it.
that you're able to share your computer and be able to teach things on the spot. So like if I'm teaching something about email marketing or just websites, anything like that, I can actually have my computer on the screen, people can see it and learn in, again, real time. So it's almost like you could have classes there, which is something that can happen in the future, but you know, you
Very
might get to that.
exciting.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
the added thing is too, because many of us who have been on the social apps for years, right? We know that people are scammers. They pretend they know this stuff. So this is a great way, like go on camera and teach, right? You're not like skimming through a book or reading a sheet of paper, right? Because most times we don't see these teachers on these social apps doing it in real time. So that's what came to me, like, oh, so now that's a little more, we're more comfortable because we're like, oh wow, I just saw Debbie walk through this whole presentation and she's actually talking, not reading a script or copying someone else's work and reading theirs. Like we can actually see that in real time. So that's an added plus.
I love it.
Yeah, I think it definitely increases that whole trust value.
Yes, trust.
So I love that. Um, what was my last? I was going to ask you like one last question. Oh, so I know that your family is important to you, and I know how much you love your grandson. So I want to know, what is your favorite memory so far with your grandson?
Oh my gosh.
And I know there's going to
Um,
be a lot, but what memory stands out the most to you?
I'm okay. Let me think. Yeah, there are so many. One of them was my aunt went through her kids are grown now, and she went through and she put every costume in like just a big garbage bag. Every costume, dinosaurs and princesses in every costume, every single costume. And so last year before Halloween, we had like a little fashion show. He didn't call it a fashion show, but you know what I mean. And he just put one costume on after the other, after the other. And it was so fun. It was so fun. It was just amazing. And I have his little face in all the pictures, and some of them were really tight and some of them were really loose. And it was just one of those moments. And then the other one was making cookies last year. That was really cool too.
Oh,
And
God.
also baking a birthday cake for my mother. So yeah,
Love that. I love
yeah.
that.
It's funny because I always say this, grandkids are your way to correct what you think are shortcomings, or to kind of have a do-over with that you might think back. Like I do think I wish I had cooked more with my kids. My kids would be in the kitchen with me, but I'd be cooking and they'd be doing homework or something else. Like they weren't in there stirring it and stuff, which is just a small thing. But with him, like I correct that, right? He's right in there doing his thing and everything like that. So, yep, it's the chance for a do-over.
Love it.
I love that. I have a question for you, Leah. What legacy, whatever legacy means to you, are you looking to have when, your time on earth, is done here on earth? Your work is done here on earth.
Listen, that's a touchy one for me because I'm a caretaker. And so when I worry about death, it's not about me. It's about, oh no, what if I'm not there to do this? Or what if my daughter needs this or whatever? So it's definitely kind of outward focused.
Yeah.
So I guess legacy wise, the most important thing would be that I set them up, meaning I make sure that they're good to go and, can live productive lives and stuff like that. My son is there. My daughter probably needs a little more TLC. I'll just leave that there. But yeah, other than that, I want my kids to be kind. I just want my kids to be kind. They
Mhm.
don't have to be as much of a giver as I am because I know that that's a lot. for if that's not what your heart is, that's too much, and I get that. But they're both kind. Like they're both even to their detriment somehow. My son, he's pretty good. My daughter would give her food away and then starve for a week. So she's kind, but also, yeah. So legacy wise is just making sure everybody's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's I want to say that's
I bet
one of
you
my,
think about that a ton. Hello.
yeah, that's really like a fear of mine, like especially with my son, I want to live longer than him because I want to make sure he's okay.
Right.
Yeah. So I
Absolutely.
understand that. Yeah. Thank you for sharing.
Uh-huh.
And I think, for me too, I just want my kids to be kind and happy and, whatever that looks like for them, that's the most important thing for me is that they are kind people and they are just happy and settled. So I love that. Well, ladies, it's been a great interview. And Lea, thank you for saying yes and coming on and having this chat with us. It's been really nice to have this little talk. And Mary Kim and Lea, you
We
have
should do this every week, whether it's a podcast or not.
that would be fun,
Yes.
actually.
Yeah.
No, seriously, it was really good. And thank you guys so much for inviting me. I appreciate you so much. I hope you probably don't know how important the morning chatter is to chatter. Just we know 4 hours a day. There's a safe, and safe doesn't mean anything weird. It just means a place to go where there's never going to be any conflict at all, no matter what. Somebody might not like the content, I guess, but there's never going to be anybody who feels bad about being in that space. So we appreciate that very much.
Thank you. We appreciate you and Chatter Social. You know,
Yeah.
I do. So I can't wait for the extra growth that's happening.
Yes, me too.
Me too. I can't wait for it to grow and we can bring more people in. And yeah, that's the whole thing with the morning chatter. It's a space to learn. And yes, we have sometimes where we have people that cry and we cry with them, and we have people that laugh and we laugh with them. And it's just about that community and being there for each other and supporting one another. So I love that part of it. And when people make the connections, because we see it happen where they're speaking and then somebody says, well, I need this, or I know more about this. And I just love the way that people have kind of intertwined and come together and just really, it's a beautiful thing to watch. So, but if you want to catch the morning chatter, you can catch it Monday through Friday on Chatter Social. It's Monday through Friday, 6 to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the morning chatter, because the chatter matters.
Yay.
Thanks, everybody.